Sitting here with Irene from Alarion, and we want to do an interview.
Yeah.
So, at first, how are you?
Very well, thank you. And you?
Yeah, also fine after the long trip.
Yeah, I can imagine that took a bit of time, yeah.
Yeah,
no, I'm absolutely
I'm
fine.
happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here as well.
So, I want to give you my business card so
Okay.
you know which
Thank
person
you very
have
much.
in front of you.
Yeah, Jessie,
And you can
excellent.
check everything out.
Will definitely do, thank you very much.
Awesome. So, let us start with the
Yeah,
interview.
absolutely.
Speaking about Alarion, how did you get in touch with them?
Funnily enough, I didn't get in touch with them. Boss, who you just met, got in touch with me, so he called me. And at first, when he asked me to do something on his album, I said no. I had just become a new mummy, and my baby was just born, only a few months old, and my head was not in the right place at all to do anything with music again after being absent for such a long time. So I said no at first, not because of the music, just because I wasn't ready. And then months later he asked again, and he said, he'd gotten Damien Wilson to do the larger part of the album, whether that changed anything for me. And to be honest, it didn't because Damien did that, but it did because I was more ready for it at the time. So I said, all right, let's, why not? I'll do it, just to see, if that's something that I would still enjoy, and let's just do it. So I did, and I'm quite happy he pursued it a few months later, because here we are. Yeah.
Cool. Today is the release show of the
Yeah.
album. And which song is your personal favorite?
That's really difficult. The album is rather varied. Of course, it would make so much sense for me to say my personal favourite is the one that I did on the album, which is Turn of Fate. But that's not necessarily true, because doing it live is something completely different than listening to an album in your car or at home. So when actually performing, I enjoy Colourblind very, very much.
Okay.
So I wonder what everybody's going to think. I love it.
Okay, and how would you describe Alarion to someone who don't know the band?
In Dutch, I don't know if there's any Dutch viewers. In Dutch, I would say stevig potje metal. And in any other language, I would probably explain it as progressive yet melodic metal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And do you remember your first time as you were on stage as a metal singer? And when was it? And
Yes, I do remember. I was quite young. I think maybe 16, 17, something like that. A long time ago now. And I had a band, Karma, and we had only just begun, and we were also progressive power metal, very complicated music. We weren't really that great yet. It wasn't very tight, and we were still sort of practicing, and I remember that I was really nervous, sort of making a show out of it. And I still sort of have that today, to be honest. Like, okay, what am I supposed to do all that time? When I'm singing, sure, but in the meantime, you're still there. So that's I remember that quite well. It was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you experience to work with the famous Arjen Lucassen?
Oh, amazing. He is as brilliant as everybody makes him out to be. He is so unbelievably gifted, so talented. Just to work with him is an honour, and to be together in a studio and creating something and get excited about it together, that's just a magical process, and I feel very blessed to have been part of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like him also very much. So, your sister, Irene Jansen, is one of the famous musicians in metal.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes feel a little bit overshadowed by her?
No, not at all. No, absolutely not. Because, several reasons. First of all, she decided to really focus her life on music, and did so quite successfully, I think. And I didn't. So I decided to study and then look for a job and start a family and create a whole different life for myself outside of music. So to compare myself to her is very logical, because it's there. But I really shouldn't, and some people shouldn't either, because it's not the same. She's been doing this for 20 years.
Oh.
Yeah. So she has had a lot of practice, and she is just astonishingly good, vocally and performing wise. When she's on stage, people are looking at her, So no, I don't feel overshadowed. I'm inspired, if anything else. Like, wow, if you can do that, and I can do maybe 10% of what she's doing, I'm happy. So no, it's inspirational, not overshadowed at all. No, just happy that she's my sister.
Well,
yeah, proud.
Yeah. Going back in time, you joined her on stage with her band After Forever.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah.
Could you also imagine doing something together with her now?
Oh, well, yeah, of course you can imagine doing that. Yeah, sure, because our voices match perfectly together. We did the Star One tour together, so we sound perfectly well together. However, practically speaking, I don't think that's anything that will happen in the near future anyway. There's no concrete plans for it, and she's with Nightwish, so hands full, I'd say.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so no, I wouldn't see that happening concretely, but theoretically, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what else can we expect from you in the future?
I actually don't have any current plans or concrete ideas or stuff that I'm definitely going to do. I'll keep my eyes and ears open, and if I'm asked, I shall definitely consider. But I don't have anything lined up that I can tell you, unfortunately.
You know, our web scene is dedicated to female musicians in metal and so on. What do you think about the expression female-fronted metal, and does your opinion differ to your sister's statement about?
I'm not quite sure what she said about it, to be honest. I think
she said something like female-fronted metal isn't a genre and shouldn't be used, something like that.
Well, I think she has a point there. I mean, there's tons of bands who are female-fronted, and everybody thinks that means gothic, and of course that's obviously not true. We have tons of examples that are completely different. So if that's what she meant, then she's absolutely right, and I agree with her completely. My own opinion, I don't really have an opinion about it. I think people use these terms to indicate something, and if it is understood by the public, then who am I to have an opinion? I don't really have a strong personal feeling about it.
Okay, and you performed your role as Passion with Arjen Lucassen's Human Equation.
Yeah.
How was it for you to perform it live?
Fantastic. 13 years ago, I recorded the album in the studio, or my parts on the album anyway, as Passion, and to then 13 years later do that live in a theatre setting, like a rock opera, that is just something that I never thought could be possible, and it was a fantastic experience. I worked with so many talented and inspiring musicians. That's just, how lucky are you if you're able to do that, and you're just there. That's just, I'm absolutely blessed that I can do all these things. Yeah,
and
fantastic.
Was it the first time you ever had a role in a metal opera?
On stage, definitely, yes. I did do some parts for Gary Hughes on Once and Future King album part, and one song on each album, which was just studio work, so we never performed that live. So live, definitely, yeah.
And maybe you will do it again with Arjen?
I don't know. That's up to him. If he asks, I always say yes.
Yeah, of course.
It doesn't matter what he asks. He only asks the right questions. That's it. He knows who is good at what, and he puts people in the right place so well. So I would think if he asks, yeah, of course. Who wouldn't?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Is there a question you would love to answer but nobody ever asked you?
That's a difficult question. Well, maybe people are quite focused on metal, obviously, because the only thing I've done is that. That's in the public eye. Maybe one of the questions could be, would you be interested in singing different genres than metal? The answer would be yes, I would love to. I love singing different genres as well. I can do poppy quite well, or bluesy quite well. A combination of bluesy and rocky is very interesting. Something like Heart in the old days, but then put into a new sort of jacket, if you will, to make it of the time. That would definitely float my boat, as they say. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Oh, awesome. And do you listen to other genres?
Oh yeah, everything. Almost everything.
Okay.
Almost everything. I don't really have one specific thing that I like to listen to as a genre-wise. There are, of course, bands and artists that I prefer more than others, but I don't have one genre that I think that's it for me. I can get stuff out of many different types of music that I enjoy.
Oh, great. So I'm done. Do you want something to be added in the video?
Yeah, I'm good.
Tell anyone anything?
No, thank you very much for tuning in, and please support these lovely ladies on the how would you pronounce it?
Magna Femina.
Magna Femina,
yeah.
And that's the title of the website as well,
yes.
right? So all go to Magna Femina and check out their wonderful webzine.
Oh, thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Thank you guys for coming.
Now the time for dreams come, 'cause I have made my folks alert. I know